When it comes to possibly needing to de-escalate a relationship, it's a very clinical, rational thing to me. And I think this is why so many folks come to me for peer support, because maybe it's my neurodivergent brain, but I call this the come to Jesus conversation because it's the time where you really have to face the fear and look under the hood and be willing to renegotiate the relationship. And in my opinion, you're not really in a real relationship if you're not constantly willing to look at it and renegotiate it. It's kind of like you can't really do a good job unless you're willing to get fired, that type of thing. So in the come to Jesus conversation, both parties get very real with themselves and make a line-itemed list of what they want from the relationship and from the other person. And let's say there's 20 things on your list and you show that list to your partner and they're like, ooh, 1 through 17, great, love that, I'm in. 18, 19, I don't know, let's talk about it. 20 is an absolute no for me. And then you have to look at that and be like, okay, I could definitely renegotiate 18, 19, but 20 being a hard no for you is not okay with me. And it's the job of both parties to be radically honest when they're making their come to Jesus list, and also when they're looking at their partner's list, because if you say yes to something that isn't a hard yes for you, that is an unloving behavior. That's a problem. And so both parties really need to look at their own list and at each other's lists and get really clear about, are we compatible to the extent that we are on the escalator or whatever our current setup is. So to answer your question, for me, I would de-escalate when the current negotiation of our relationship is no longer congruent with our compatibility. So for example, when I told Joe I no longer desired a sexual relationship with him, I told him if he wanted to nest with a partner who he had sexual compatibility with, then it's time for us to de-escalate our relationship. Ultimately, we both decided that our compatibility as nested partners in literally every other category of existence except for sex was so high that we didn't feel the need to de-escalate. I had another partner at one point who really did not desire to create consistent scheduled date nights. And that was super hard for me because I'm a mom and I'm an entrepreneur. So it's I'm never going to see you if we don't create regular scheduled time. And it's hard for me to anchor into that partnership without that. And they were I'm just not interested in doing that. And so we de-escalated to friendship. Actually, we first de-escalated to commit partnership. That didn't work out. And now we are just friends.